You tell yourself a story, the one where you're in the driver's seat of your own life, that you're in control. But let's be honest, your actions tell a completely different story, don't they? We're about to dissect that feeling, the anatomy of losing control. This is a breakdown of what happens when your internal systems fail and something else takes over. And it starts right here. This is the first symptom, that hazy, disassociated feeling where you're just a spectator in your own life. It's when your actions stop feeling like choices. And no, this isn't poetry. This is the quiet alarm bell screaming that you've lost all personal agency. It's that sinking feeling when you realize you're not steering anymore.
You see, losing control never really starts with a conscious decision. It starts with an impact, an overwhelming external force that just blows past your logic and tears down your defenses. You have to understand this as an event, something that happens to you with all the raw, unpredictable power of the natural world.
Just look at the language here. This isn't a person. It's thunder. It's a runaway train. These are metaphors for a force so powerful it makes your self-control totally irrelevant. You can't negotiate with a storm. You can only feel the impact. This is exactly what happens when your own discipline is completely unprepared for an external shock. And what happens right after the impact? Total confusion. Your brain is left chasing echoes, trying to figure out how the person you thought you were can be doing these things you can't control. You're desperately reaching for stability in the very thing that's completely destabilizing you. That first impact, that wasn't a one-time thing. Oh no, it was just the first domino in a long, unstoppable line. It sets off a chain reaction in your brain, in your emotions, and creates this feedback loop that just spirals faster and faster out of your command. This line, this isn't poetic, it's a clinical description of a life on autopilot. Your agency is gone. Intention is totally replaced by reaction. Every single external trigger, every move, every word now gets an automatic, predictable response from you. You're not acting anymore, you're just reacting, getting pulled deeper and deeper into the vortex. Let's be very clear about this sequence. These aren't choices. This is your brain's reward system getting hijacked. The spark is that first hit of dopamine. The pull is the craving that comes right after. The fall, that's the moment the part of you that's supposed to be in charge realizes it's powerless. And surrender is the inevitable result when your emotions completely override any and all logic. So this gets us to the core of the paradox. Why would anyone stay in a state of self-destruction? Well, it's because your brain can literally be rewired to mistake intensity for importance, to mistake chaos for passion. The systems that are supposed to handle pleasure and pain get their wires crossed, and it becomes a very dangerous mess. Don't mistake this for some kind of vulnerable confession. This is a rationalization. This is the story the mind creates to justify losing control by rebranding self-destruction as some kind of noble risk. The person is fully aware of the danger, which makes their choice to stay in it that much more revealing. Look at this. This isn't about the ups and downs of a relationship. This is a diagnostic chart for a dependency cycle. The exact same thing brings the peace and the fire, the remedy and the mess. And here's the brutal truth. When your ability to control your own emotions has completely failed, you will seek comfort from the very thing that is causing all your chaos. And there it is. All pretense is gone. This isn't about love anymore, is it? It's not even about passion. This is a straight-up admission of addiction. The person isn't hooked on someone else. They're hooked on the process of falling apart. That rush of coming undone has become the drug. This brings us to the climax, the total system failure. This is that point where your willpower, which has no discipline or structure to back it up, finally shatters. The fight against the pull just stops. And what's left is a full, complete surrender to whatever is controlling you from the outside. This right here lays out the mechanics of a failed system. You have to see that these aren't real attempts to get away. They're just the last desperate flickers of a part of your brain that's completely drained. You know you should let go, but your resolve is so fragile, so weak, that it takes nothing, literally just a breath, from the outside stimulus to reset the entire destructive cycle all over again. And right here, this is the moment. This is the surrender. The fight is officially over. It's a conscious choice to just stop resisting. The loss of control is no longer something that's just happening to you. It's a state you are now actively choosing to live in. You are consenting to being controlled. So what's left after the battle is lost? This final part is about the end state, a complete consumption by the other, where losing your entire sense of self feels like both the worst possible tragedy and the ultimate prize. This is a chillingly precise metaphor for your identity being erased. You're not an independent person anymore, you're just an object trapped in someone else's gravity. Your own thoughts, the very air you breathe, are now defined by that external force. The self has been completely absorbed, it's gone. So we can actually define this state. A beautiful tragedy is the psychological endpoint where destroying yourself feels like being saved. It's the final lie a hijacked brain tells itself, finding peace not in self-control, but in the complete and total surrender of the self. This whole narrative walks a razor's edge. But this final question, it isn't just for the story, it's for you. The line between an all-consuming passion and a self-destructive obsession, it completely vanishes when self-control is gone. So be honest with yourself for a second. Are you actually in control of your life right now? Or is something else pulling the strings?